because we don't want to venture in an exercise without being prepared, without knowing which call to action we are prompting the clients to take every step of the way, whether it's on a digital card, whether it's on a website, or throughout a sequence of email. The marketing, the digital asset, the call to action will revolve around what we have already prepared. Good for everybody? Questions so far on those, on that approach? Anything before we start?
Virgil, please,
Yes.
if you can, take a look at the email I sent you earlier.
I did see you sent me an email in terms of the email exercise that couldn't be found because of the misspelling. Was that one?
It wasn't but yes, that email.
Okay,
Okay.
yes, I did see it. I figured we would be able to cover it during the conversation process. I'll guide you through where to find the uh, proper exercise so that you can have them forward. You can download them as well so that you can follow along the steps that we will be going through. Remember, this is a workshop session, so I lead, but everybody, I hope you have your Nowsite open. You're basically ready in your workspace to proceed. Okay. Questions? Oh, one of the things, we are a lot, we are going to be a lot, so make sure that we still follow into the same process. Raise your hand so that way I can bring you in. Otherwise, if we start interjecting all at once, it can become a mess, especially that I'm expecting that you will have questions through the process on how basically to do things if you are hitting some hurdles. Good for everybody for now? Perfect, perfect then. So let me just see. I think we are now a total of 15 so far. Uh, we gave the rest 5 minutes, so we will jump into our exercise and they will catch along. Now, everybody, basically, I assume that you have your workshop breakdown open. So right now, we're still in both case in the conversation here, the 10-minute intro where we're discussing basically what we're going to be doing. And just as I was outlining, both of these cover the same thing. We are looking at the importance of the digital card. We are looking at the importance of understanding the segmentation since it applies through the email sequence that we will be sending our client to manage this relationship that we're creating. Just like in this case study, bringing you into this workshop required, even though I knew that we all belong into the same converted list, the interest being that we want to come today here and apply what we basically have been learning. I also had to make sure that I segment each conversation for those who opted for this class or not, or wanted to change basically the date. Of course, we are maintaining the date, obviously, of today. And what I will do is take into account all the responses that I got and see how to better adjust basically for the next turn, the next workshop classes. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so question for now? If we don't have any questions, we will start splitting into our different rooms. I will start the workshop on the digital card and website side, and I'll join you who have opted for the elite in the second room. Somebody has their sound open there?
Hey, Virgil,
Yes, Kim?
did you notice that on the V card, when you go to the bottom section and you add in a logo, the logo doesn't show up?
Okay, we'll get to that. It could be that there are some technical issues there. I have been noticing that, but we'll get to that in a moment. Now,
Okay.
so for those who are interested in the segmentation conversation, I've opened room 2. Can you already start joining if you see those rooms? If you're not seeing the room, let me know. I will basically send you an invitation to join it. Can we all see the breakout rooms? If you don't, raise your hand and I will assign you. Sorry? I recognize a few of you by name, so I'll slowly try assigning you on my side here from your choices. Go ahead, Daria.
I see join room 1, 2, and 3. Which one do I join?
Room 2. You opted for segmentation, right? Everybody that is in the digital card by
Is
default
that room
stays in
2?
this room.
Okay, so if we're in segmentation, we're in room 2.
Yes, room 2.
And also, I was wondering, I have the creative lab class and I have the how to. Which one am I supposed to be in as far as on my now site?
In terms of the groups, you want to be in the how to, the one that has the gray picture. I'll show you.
Okay.
So it's going to
Yes.
be
Okay. That's the
this team. Yeah. So this is where basically you will have the team how to is where you have most of the document, the course content that we will be using.
okay.
Good.
All right.
Tina?
Thank you.
I'm in room 2.
Well, you mentioned you wanted segmentation after, right?
Yes.
So yes, room
Am
2 it
I
would be.
going too much over my head this early because I'm such a beginner?
No, no, no. I mean, we have been in meetings together, so I know that you already have a digital card in place, so we can work off of that. Working on segmentation will also allow you to fine tune the digital card since the interests have to align. Okay, so not to worry too much. If you already feel that you have a digital card ready, you can go into the segmentation. If you have a website ready, you can also go into the segmentation. So that's not going to be a problem. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I guess give me access to the segmentation, please.
Segmentation. Okay, let me get you an invitation there. Um, Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm in on my phone, but I'm trying to switch to my desktop. So could you let me in the other?
The other. Oh, absolutely. Let me just see here.
Thanks.
Oh, pleasure. Yes, new arrivals. I'll let them in as well. I lost sight of the admitting. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I will start the conversation with you who are with me in this room for the digital card. I think everybody, Johnny, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I'm not sure if I'm in the right room. I'm supposed to be in the segmentation room.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna get you then to the segmentation if you rather be in there.
Yes.
Okay, so here. Good. Go ahead, Binder.
Hi, I should be in
Hi.
segmentation.
Segmentation as well. Okay, perfect. If you're having difficulties seeing the rooms, usually on the bottom of your options for Zoom, you have three dots. If you click it, it's going to expand into different options that are not necessarily listed as icon directly. And at that point, you'll see the breakout rooms. If you're on the phone, depending on how your interface is, you might see a floating box with the four squares, and that would be what you would want to click to see the room's choice appear.
Got
Good.
it. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Pleasure, pleasure. Okay. Since I'm monitoring the the admittance at the same time, for now, refrain from asking questions directly there. I might not see them. Ask them directly, so that way we can discuss. I can answer the questions. Okay. So the idea for those who are here with me today, in terms of what a digital card, which is in essence the same thing. Sorry, Willie, you had a question? Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't have a question.
Okay, perfect. So,
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome. So essentially, the goal today for those who are in the digital card group is to make you or have you leaving this with this type of asset ready. I've discussed this in a previous case study conversation. The digital card is a powerful tool. It sets us up for a lot of the conversation process that we're usually trying to achieve. We want to present ourselves. And one thing, note for everybody here, we will be following the sales flow course of action all the time, right? You want to make sure that you have a picture to present yourself properly. You have a description to outline the intent behind basically this conversation, and you have your marketing assets, your social media links, how to contact you ready. And this allows us to make a connection, build a rapport, presents ourselves, but in the rest of the sales flow, we also are starting to engage, introducing basically what is the one major opportunity or call to action that we want to put forward, which leads us to this form and what happens after the form, the sequences in email and the follow through this conversation. Okay, so now on your side, I'll turn it over. If you don't have a digital card, or if you want to use one of the templates that I offer, you're free to go directly in the team section. You can go to the team content and you have website and emails. And I dropped a few templates, both for the email onboarding sequence. As an example, if you're not marketing Nowsite, you can take it and rephrase it for what you are going to be doing. I have also the digital card templates, two of them that I favor. Basically, one resembling this one with 2 panels, and the second one with 3 panels. Okay, so you can start by uploading these and starting to replace simply the information therein. Okay, since you have prepared your marketing asset, I assume you already have your picture, you already have your links, and all that you will be doing is basically editing, clicking on this first construction block and updating the information therein, pasting your website, which is the conversion asset that we all have by default, our Facebook or social media links of choice, and of course, the conversation around who we are. To make this easier, since throughout this exercise, we'll be relying on the AI, again, make sure that you have started with a business profile. If the digital card is talking about you, then we should have a profile about you. If you haven't done something like that quickly, you can put something together, open up a Word document, sorry, here. Okay, open up a Word document, right? And very simply start outlining. Let me just open up one here. Sorry, just going to show you an example quickly. So what you can do very quickly, this is a step-by-step process that I'm following, shadowing you. So very quickly, for example, you can write down the business pitch, right? Speaking in your voice. I am Virgil Bio. I like, and like you as an online brand ambassador or solopreneur, I want to promote effective prospecting and customer relationship management. You basically write your pitch, and then you can use the AI to reformulate. With that in place, you can use that business profile in turn to start updating your digital cards. Questions before I move to the other room to start driving them? So we're all good for the first step. We know where to find the marketing asset. If we don't have a digital card, we get it in the group and we can start updating that template. If we have our own, we bring it forward, look at optimizing the connection side where we have our picture, our description, we put our appropriate link, and then we look at the second side where we're going to be focusing on one offer for which we want to create that conversation, again, based on the simple dynamics that we know: interest, intention, call to action. The call to action has to lead to the form. So we are asking the person for an email for what purpose. That will determine what the form will do next. Good? You have 20 minutes if I believe so, and I'll be coming back to you in a few. At that point, I will have some questions, I'm pretty sure. See you in a minute. Hello.
Oh, there's Virgil. You can help us.
Hello. I walked into a few questions, I assume. Okay, perfect. So what were we talking about? We are here for the segmentation. Even though we are not all elite, I consider that we still all have a certain level, and we have taken a look at all the conversation, or at least followed what we have discussed so far. You were having some questions here. What did I need to answer?
So some of us didn't get the emails that you sent us to figure out where we're supposed to be. And so we're all trying to get on the same sheet because this segment didn't show up in my how-to and Nowsite. So we were going to the emails you sent to try to find the course information.
Okay. The easiest way to find course information, you can go to the library course, and usually these courses are there. So the virtual library course will have those embedded. But in the content section, what I've done is you can scoop over to course
just
library.
Put the file in the chat. Hey, Virgil, I just put the file in the chat.
Yeah,
Which
it doesn't
file?
work.
Okay, so
There's
It doesn't
there's
work.
a PDF file. Yeah, there's a PDF file in
well,
the chat.
thank you for that. But what I'm describing here, everybody should be able to do. So I want you guys to go through this process directly. Thank you for the help, Kim. But I want people to be able to navigate this, right? It's simple enough, I think, in terms of the menu here. Whenever you're going to be looking for documents or case studies, they're always going to be either here in 5 or 6. So we have case studies and documents. Right? You guys were looking for the email exercise. I actually have email content in both of those that could help, right? So if you navigate to the case study, you go to the email section, email marketing, you'll have all these different practical exercise, case studies, review of what we have discussed here. Good? So we have those here, okay? And we also have in the course library, same thing, right? As far as we're concerned, this is where we want it to be in segmentation. So we have the segmentation presentation that I did. We have understanding how to apply the whole conversation around that following the presentation. We also have the CAMS and fact sheet, which is going to be important for us to prepare for objections, overturning them, handling them. And we have the practical exercise. Okay, but this all in all, this session today will be a practical exercise. This is good for you to download so that you can find back. If you go to the, let's go to the website here in the courses. You also have access to these specific course breakdown and the exercise. So here in the table of content, you have basically the different conversation that led to these different pieces of exercises. So for example, the email campaign, if you click on it, it will bring you through the actual lesson, and all the documents also are made available there, right? So you'll see here, you can get the overview, you'll be able to get the checklist, and also eventually watch the course or go back to it. Okay, so this is how you find these documents. Primarily, since you're all in the team, then remember everything is in the how-to sessions, in the content, the team content, and you basically have access in tab 5 and 6, all the documentation. Whether they're case studies or courses, I recommend taking advantage of those. You can use them, as I said, turning them into offers that you can replicate to bring on your teams, or adhere to these steps as basic ABCs. Good for everybody?
Virgil, just a question. My problem is I'm on this Zoom, but to get to this page that you are displaying, that's where I'm stuck.
Okay. So when you're on your Zoom will take a big part of your screen, correct?
Okay.
So if you just minimize your Zoom screen, you'll be able to see the rest of your computer. And at that point, you'll go into your account. You have logged into your Nowsite account, correct?
Okay. Okay. Let me then do that.
Okay. So at this point, I'm going to cover briefly what we mean again by segmentation to reinforce what we are here to do and leave you basically with the next step, organizing your contact list to structure it per segment. Now, again, segmentation is a big word just to say this is how I'm going to be dividing my market, dividing my audience in accord to the approach that I'm following. In a general sense, we are always following 3 steps. When we are prospecting, we're in acquisition mode. So we have to have a general list where we're going to be putting these people. That could be cold, that will be most of the time cold contacts, cold prospects, or people that we have warmed up to generally, or people that we are pulling from NAV. And this is going to be important as leaders or people that are interested in this part of the conversation. We have NAV. NAV is an important tool for us to generate new cold or targeted leads, right? So we all will start with the acquisition list. The idea is that we want to convert these people from acquisition to a specific opt-in list. Even if you do not have marketing assets around each one of these lists, we have to have these lists. So part 2 of your exercise here would be to look at first your acquisition list, but understand what part of the conversation I'm going to address them, what part of interest I'm going to address to get them to convert, to move from one list to the other. So we will have our conversion list. And of course, we will have the outline conversation path for each one of these lists. Lastly, the retention. Once I have converted, once somebody has opted into my offer, there must be a follow-up process. Just like ours today, leading us to this group, even if there were some missteps and mishaps, the general motion has to be respected. And the info that I get from you, the feedback that I get from you is crucial in updating my process, fine-tuning the process, but also deepening the relationship. Remember what we said in objection handling? Well, an objection or question is a great thing. It's showing that the person is involved more in our conversation. It's getting involved more into our conversation. Every challenge is a good thing. We just admit the late arrivals. Perfect. Questions so far on what I've discussed?
Okay, so basically we create 3 lists in Nowsite, one for the acquisition, one for conversion, and one for
the follow-up, the retention.
For the follow-up.
Perfect. Right. Now, when you're creating these lists, since we're talking about messaging, you're also getting in line the conversation path that you're going to create for each one of these lists. So when we're taking lists here, especially in this room, when we're taking lists, we're also taking the appropriate email campaign and conversation that will follow. Make sense? So
Okay.
You're creating 3 emails, and for each one of these emails, you have a specific intent. An intent that will align with your marketing assets and also the sales flow conversation. Good? So first thing, you are in this room because you technically have a digital card or at least a landing page. So it means that you have a business offer, and that offer is built around what, who, and how. In this process, we're considering the who and the how. So look at your marketing assets and separate those call to action and assign them for the proper list, organizing your prospect journey through the conversation. Questions?
Yeah, so the marketing assets are going to be based on what, who, and how?
Yes, right? Because your business profile is aimed at somebody, right? It's representing and bringing an interest, which is at the core of the what. Then it's aiming at a specific who with intentions, and the how or the call to action. You have already your business profile. You already have one that you're going to be using, I assume, at least.
So the assets are like pictures or videos that we're going to send them.
All of those are part of the assets. I'll show you, for example, right, what I meant by preparing your asset list. When we walked in here, I did a demonstration quickly on the fact that I have a case study exercise. My page is simple. The marketing asset that I need basically are everything that started with the business profile, with the business card, sorry, and that will continue with any business link, right? For example, the business card assets are everything that are around the social information leading back to me. My email, my Facebook, my LinkedIn. And these are particularly important for us now because following you on Facebook, following you on LinkedIn takes a whole different meaning when you start considering nav. You message me, I nav you. And I can start that conversation, targeted conversation, right? So all of us, at any point in time, I always have this open because it beats having to go look on Facebook for a link or grabbing somewhere else, looking at somewhere else for any of my links, right? So make sure that you actually have this also ready. Okay, same thing with your business links. And as far as I'm concerned, when I was building this and Marketing Nowsite would have me use any demo link that I have. And we have a calendar. So I picked and choose the most important or the most pertinent conversation or dates that I needed to onboard a client. And this is what you will see in the onboarding email sequence that I offered. Okay, so we should be creating this if we don't have it. And as soon as we have that, this will dictate, for example, in the acquisition list and the email series, a lot of the offers will revolve around these call to action. Come and get in touch with me. Go see what I offer. I've posted. Take a look at this video. All right, this is the sequence in basically the call to action that we will need when we're trying to acquire, well, when you have acquired and we're trying to convert. We want to build that rapport, do a presentation, and bring them to opt into something. Once they have definitely went to one of these links. Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying as a summary is that the purpose of this masterclass is to teach us how to map out these things and how to connect the dots together, right?
It's actually, yes, you are going to be mapping out and connecting the dot, not teaching, but practicing that. Okay, make sense? Questions? I'll let you get started then. Start by looking at your contact lists, your general pool. If there you had already created lists where you were putting your cold prospects, whether you are prospecting using the Nowsite prospecting tool or using the nav, which I think we have been using, then set this as your acquisition list. And of course, if you have acquired these people, you have lined them up. If you have nav on these people, you have lined them up with a business interest to have that sales plan. Right? So we want that first list. And from that first list, you are already starting to generate the rest of the conversation leading to the opt-in or the conversion list and what follows after. Good?
So what you're saying that before we came to this masterclass, we should already have the email series, the map out, the V card, and all that stuff. And then today, during the masterclass, we should be connecting it from the right things to the right places to get the right audience, right?
That could be an option. For you, Elite, yes. For you, Elite, I expect you to have your digital card ready. I expect you to have basically at least an acquisition list ready. And today, what we're going to be doing is basically finalizing the conversion and a follow-up strategy or conversation using all our assets if we don't have. If we have, then we'll fine tuning and looking at the results. Good?
So
Um,
so right now in this room, there shouldn't be like a new person. In this room, it should be like most of the people who kind of know a little bit of how to get around. Is that correct?
Not necessarily, because a new person could also start, meaning that you at least have a good understanding of our CRM. You know how to create a list. If you have imported lists, because often enough, some of us will come into this space with a list of contact. If you have imported that contact list in, then we are going to be looking at, of course, your business profile and creating the email sequence. We're not just organizing lists. Remember here, segmentation in this case has to do with how we're going to address the conversation for each list, for each prospect at the time where they are in this journey with us.
Okay.
Okay, so who here, I know that we had at least two beginners at the beginning before I lost track a little bit of the count. If you are a beginner in this room, you can raise your hand and we'll see. Can I address any questions that you have? You better not try that, Kim. You better not try that. You're not asking beginner level questions. No, no, no. So, okay. So everybody, I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to bounce into the other room to see exactly how they are faring there. I consider the people in the digital card more in the starter level than us here, right? Because again, I haven't seen any hand raised as beginners, so we're good.
Virgil,
Go ahead, Johnny. Sorry?
Yeah, Johnny, yeah.
Oh, you're muted still. You're still muted. Okay, go ahead, George. Well, Johnny.
Okay, Virgil, before you leave, what I want to do out of this class is I have a struggle with a project that I have on being able to bring people to a webinar with my partner, because I have a partner that he does a great presentation and he's good at closing. So my job is to acquire prospects and put them into this webinar. So this guy converts them, and then I can do the follow-up.
Okay, so then I would ask you, do you have the digital card ready? Because you're acting as a closer for your partner. You are supposed, go ahead.
I do have a digital card, but my kind of fear is that if I provide all those links to my social media and they check and they see what I'm involved in, they might make their decision right there and decide not to attend.
Okay, now this is a great concern. What you are bringing forward is the potential fear that people would, because so far, if you send out links and people see them and click on them, for me, it's a manifested interest. Correct?
Right.
Now, if you fear that they would take a look at this and make a decision, the fear that you have is when they say no, because for the same action, they might go there and say, oh, I want to know more. I want actually to book a demo with you, right? So how do you make this conversation stronger so that the percentage of them saying yes is greater than the percentage of them saying no? That's the real conversation that you're trying to have here.
Okay.
Do you feel that the digital card that you have is strong in terms of making them want to discover more?
Well, thank you. I think your answer to me is it's my mindset. So no worries.
Mindset is part of all the conversation as well. So for you, one of the good exercise today will be the part where we address the objection handlings and the facts. Actually, to build a consistent email conversation, you want to have those already in mind. Simply put, if I know the list of objections or hurdles that the client might have when seeing or receiving this conversation, then guess what? In my acquisition email, I might actually line these points and address them once after the other. Do you fear this? Well, this is how this tool works in that regards. Are you looking for this? Well, this is how this tool addresses this in that regard, right? So for you, for example, the exercise, while you're building your lists, since we're going to be building our email conversation, list the different objections that you are familiar with or could come about, because this is now our intent through the conversation to the presentation, handling and overturning these objections. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Questions? I have to keep track of time. That's going to be the challenge for me today, bouncing between rooms, giving you time to create. So I'll leave you with this. Take a look at your business profile just to bring things in perspective. If you're not sure where you're going, take a look at your business profile. Understand our hows, because each one of these how will belong into a specific set of call to action for each tier of our conversation. At acquisition, we have to go we have to go slow. We don't want to go for direct sales, right? We want to break the ice, continue the presentation, continue building the rapport, bringing them to that opt-in action, at least by the 5th email in this sequence, right? For the focus of this exercise, what I would recommend is limiting the email in our sequence to 5, 3 days apart. That covers a big part of the conversation, at least for the first acquisition, which is the hardest part in this exercise. The conversation after the acquisition, when we have converted, usually follows the intentions that we have and how well we know our product and the client's need going through the retention process. But if we address this properly at acquisition, the rest of the conversation technically flows. If I said all the right thing to get you to opt in, it's very hard for me to lose that as long as I know my product and I know also your interest, meaning how I can also handle your fears. Good?
Yeah, another question.
Go ahead.
What if you are one of those people that have a problem that offers different things? Do you need a business card, a virtual card for each one of the things that you work on?
What I would recommend is start with your strongest offer now. Remember, if you're looking at pitching different things, eventually you will have to repeat the process for each products. Okay, so whatever offer you have will always have a leading product. In this case, for example, we at Nowsite here consider the leading product, the MyAI, paired up with Nav. You start using those, you will fall into a need for more. Especially if you are an apt user, very quickly you will notice that I need continuation in these conversations. I'm going to need to be more agile with how I present my conversation through my marketing asset, and also specifically start targeting the needs each time.
Hey, Virgil,
Go ahead.
wouldn't it make more sense, okay, instead of having a gazillion different funnels, a gazillion different process, put it all under one roof into a community and segment it that way? where you now have different flows, different things, but you're only promoting one direction instead of overworking yourself.
Well, if that is the goal, meaning that you want to get me into that pool, and at that point you can have that diverse conversation, then that is your prospect journey. Does it make more sense? For me, maybe, maybe not. It depends on where you are. For you to create a community, you must have already had that. If you're starting from scratch, you might not want to diversify yourself too quickly, right? Because having a lot of product doesn't mean that you mastered them all. Make sense?
It makes sense, but it at the same time, I wake up on Monday, what do I promote? I wake up on Tuesday, what do I promote? I wake up on Wednesday, what do I promote?
Well, you opted for all these products, right? So it means that you had an ideal of the time that you will. And remember, a lot of our products, technically, that we have when it's under an umbrella, are either complementary or second tier level, right? Because
Well,
again,
there's some people, they're all over the place. So
all the exercise will be then to get them into one place today. Okay. I don't see any problem or objection in this. Yes, if you already have a lot of community members and you feel like you can handle them into one space, then go for it. But even in that space, for example, you'll have to, on a cycle, bring up a specific offer because you can't get into every day. Monday I'm going to be talking about this. Tuesday, I'm going to lose everybody, right? Monday
no,
we'll do this.
you have
Sorry?
to have an you have to have an ecosystem within the community. If you don't have an ecosystem within the community and you have a strategy, you know, I don't care what you do, you're going to confuse your people no matter what.
There you go. So to get to that, if you have a system, we start by building this block by block, right? Because eventually, if you repeat this process enough time across different products, you're going to funnel everybody back to that same community. Remember that in the end, that's the retention. Regardless of the case study, the class, or the master class that you opted for, you guys were all receiving one confirmation email from me, right? So in the end, the bulk of the community will have some kind of same information plateau before they start going into their different rooms as we did today. Question, Lisa, before I bounce to the other room and see what they are up to there?
Yeah, I'll just take 10 seconds to say your preparation, your materials are masterful. I'm so privileged to be here, and I just thank you for every single thing you put into this because I'm building an offer, I'm building a course, and I know.
Thank you very much.
What I see. And when I grow up, I want to be like you. So
you don't want to write like me. You don't want to write like me. No. But
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
I second Dr. Lisa, and after this class, we'll take Kim's class.
You know,
Right.
to answer Jorge's question, him being the person responsible to create the traffic and bring in the traffic, I think you should also touch before you go to the other room. Okay, so as he was talking, I pulled up all his profiles. Okay, from LinkedIn, from Facebook to what was the other? YouTube, right? For me, coming from the outside, as a person who doesn't know Jorge and trying to get to like, know, and trust Jorge, I see a chameleon. You guys know what a chameleon is? That means
different time every time.
It's not consistent. Right there, it don't matter how good you are creating traffic, you lose the trust the minute they go to your profile. Okay, so that's a big issue. It don't matter how your business card looks like. It doesn't matter how your email looks like. It doesn't matter how anything looks like because your identity is not consistent. So that's like a big issue that you should look at. You know, and I'm just saying, probably a lot of us here are in the same situation, but maybe you can touch on that, Virgil. Before you can leave, you can touch how important that is.
Well, I expected that in the sense that I expected all of us in this room, save the beginners, true, to have our social media presence align around the intent that we're promoting, right? If you don't have that, or it's food for thought, you can still remain here to address the conversation that follows the acquisition if you have your digital card. But very quickly leaving this, we want to make sure that we align from Facebook to LinkedIn to any platform that I use specifically for business. I want to make sure that the information is consistent because I cannot be saying Greenpeace on one page and then selling arms on the other, right? It's night to day. And that will create confusion, bring in fear, have mistrust at the connection, right? Remember, these people have to fall in love with our conversation at hello. You like the same thing as me and you understand the concerns that I have. And technically, we want to address that or that has to be already addressed in our business profile, right? The conversation here, for example, I'll share this before I go. Coming back to my conversation here, when I drafted my first thing, right? As a solopreneur, I have tackled digital marketing challenge head on, right? Actually, my first one was I am Virgil Obio, and like you, as an online brand ambassador and solopreneur, I understand that effective promotion, prospecting, and customer relationship management were obstacles I had to overcome. On this journey, I discovered tools and process that radically changed my game for the better. Take a look at it. Already in this presentation, I'm addressing a few needs, a few fears, right? This thing is complicated. There are all these terms, right? I took in the fear in the conversation and offered the solutions. And then I had it rewrite. So even at the basic business level or pitch, your pitch is as strong as you know your product and as strong as you know your customer. As simple as that, right? So let's keep that in mind. Definitely for this exercise, since your concern is driving traffic, make sure that you understand your product so that you can defend it. And you also have your objections already there so that you can use it actually against the audience. Because if I send you this demo and I know that you're going to go there and you might have this question, but sending you there, I already addressed that. You're going there to see the solution, to consider the benefit. It changes the game. You lean more to a yes than a no. Good?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. So I'll see you in a few minutes. We might be dragging behind, but I prepared some loose time, if anything. Okay. I'll be back in a few. Bye-bye.
Picture up top, or you can have a picture on the side. However you create it is completely up to you, right? But let's say now that I do that, and I have the contact card here, I can publish it just to give you guys an idea. And then I'm showing the contact card here on my menu just so that I can find the link, right? On contact card, and there's my actual link that I would be sharing with people. Now it's actually branded to me saying robertblakely.now.site/contact card instead of it saying something like contactcard.now.site. Everybody first off clear about what I'm saying and why I'm explaining it this way?
Yeah, except I think the website part is going to be the second part. He just wants us to do the digital card first.
Sure, totally.
That
Perfect.
doing that website part would have been that's easy. The way you did it was easy.
Right.
We're starting from the beginning. I think he's doing the website second. So
Yes.
he had the templates of the one that he had, with the video on it.
Yeah.
And he had
I can
the
show you
one
that way too.
showed just that guy.
I can show you that way too, right? So we click on my digital card, click add to my account, business profile, attach it to something. I want to put it to Robert Blakely. What's my website name? Contact card. Right. What am I going to name it? The Blakester contact. I don't know. That's again, maybe this is where you might put some kind of personal branding into yourself as an idea, right? but that's all you got to do is just name the website, click submit, and boom, there it is. So now I've got the Blakesters contact.now.site. Now, if I go and publish it, it's live. Preview it. Here it is, the Blakesters contact.now.site. So again, you could do it either way. Just I want you to consider branding as my main purpose and point.
How would you put the picture in?
So the picture is easily done. Again, you're just going to select on what it is that you're working with. And then right here, you would change the image. All right, so you click on change image, go to your images, click on whatever image that you want to add. Let's say it's this one, just for SNGs. Edit your image. Just like any other image that we would work with and do. And then it's going to pop up in here. Okay. Now, any of your other stuff, right? Like your full name, you want to obviously put your name in there. All you're doing is just entering all your information right here, right? Sales psychology coach. Over 39 years of experience teaching people how to sell. Right? Anything else that I want, like on here, I decide what I want to put on here, right? So if I want people to be able to call me, then I'm going to put in my phone number there. If I don't, then I need to leave this blank. And what you'll notice is when I leave it blank, the phone number section will not come up here. So you have complete control on what you want to share with people and where you want to send them, right? Now, for all of this, it's nothing more than just filling out this stuff on the left-hand side. So that's how easy it is with that part. Now, taking it to a little bit of a further level, if you will, because we're getting a little more advanced. All he did was he started off with this, and then because this is the section that we're in, hold on one second here. I'm going to click OK. Because this is the section that we're in, all he did was he split it into two, right? And then in here, he has another placeholder. So what did he do here? Right? Click on this. Oops. Now we're going to go and put content section over here. Obviously, you guys know sometimes it's a little finicky. Bear with me.
I want to step in a little bit, Robert.
Sure, brother.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
I love what you're doing. And
Uh-huh.
this is exactly basically the steps that we follow to do so. Now, one of the things that you have is definitely the card that he downloaded into the process, and also the other ones that already have the construction layout there. Okay, I want you guys, if you don't have it, if you don't have a digital card yet, download that one. Can you go back to the course, Robert, the team?
That's actually what we're doing right now. I downloaded it from the course. That's what I'm showing them.
No, but there's another one that I wanted them to use.
Oh,
so that way
okay.
so that way it would go quicker. I'm going to actually leave you here so that way you can fill in the blanks. Go to the team section again.
Yep. Working on it.
Perfect.
One moment, please.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
The last one. Yes.
This one?
Down. Yeah, this one. Okay. I recommend you guys take this one. Why? Because I already put part of the structure there, right?
Gotcha.
Those two panels. So you have
Gotcha.
this option here
Wait,
to
I'm
choose.
sorry, Virgil. What did you just click on now?
Oh, it was Robert. You sure?
So instead of this digital card here, ladies and gentlemen, what he's saying, what we're doing right now, to use this one here. Only reason he's saying that is because when you click on it, it's already got what we're doing here. It's got this, it's got his contact card, and it's also got his headline, his video, and his opt-in form.
Okay. You have two of them. You'll see you can pick either the draft one or the draft two. Okay. For now, what I recommend is using the draft one. There's a menu there. No, go back to it. So when you okay.
Yeah,
Let
so
me
the bottom menu, you mean?
No, top menu here.
You see draft two, you see draft one.
Exactly. So I recommend we start with the draft one because I already have that. So that way you guys are going to come back and focus on the messaging.
Gotcha,
Okay.
gotcha.
You're going to update the pictures. You're going to rewrite the messages. You basically will be worrying about the conversation aspect. The structure will already be there. Okay. That is for those who are starting from scratch. Start with that one. And it's the same thing as he's doing. You go through it, you click on download, you decide the name. For the URL, my name, my card. As simple as that, right? Because remember, one of the things that you want to do when you're thinking about your URL here is thinking how easy it's going to be for you to say it, right? Go to Vicky's card, or go to my card, Vicky. Go to my card, Robert, right? My digital card. Often enough, I simply do that. My digital card, Virgil, my card. So that way, I'll say, hey, here's my link, Virgil, my card. You can remember that. And at the end, it's .now.site. Okay. So that allows you to quickly make reference to it.
So wait a minute,
Right?
Virgil, if we go to that card, we go up to the top and go DC draft 1, and that will give us what we should be using?
Yep. Let me show you. Stop
Correct.
the sharing. I'll show you
Oh,
the mechanics.
yes.
Okay. I was showing her. Sure.
I'm gonna do the end result after you made the choice, because since I gave two of those, and then I'll leave you with the group. You're going to be able to lead the conversation from this point. I'll come back, and I'm going to touch base on one thing also that you were discussing. Here, I'm just going to, instead of doing this, I'm just going to duplicate this one here. Okay, because the idea is that when you have the asset in place, you will make your choice. Okay, already what you can do, since I'm recommending, you guys all see my screen, right? Okay, since I'm recommending to use this card one, simply when you come here, when you download the asset, you go to DC card draft here, the three dot, make this the home page, and you can basically delete the second page. I want you guys to delete the second page. Why do I want you guys to delete the second page? Because when I walked in, uh, Robert was showing something very interesting. And it's something that actually I would have you follow through in the second part of the conversation. Remember, I said that I can use the digital card as a reversed website, right? And we will do that on the second part of this draft here. So this is gonna become the home, right? So you land on my digital card. If you want to learn more, I can have an about me leading into the conversation about my offers, right? And at that point, all you're doing is adding these extra tabs, creating your menu. Make sense? Okay, so I want you guys to focus on this first part, download the card, get the draft, and yes, of course, for today, everybody should have in the business profile their profile, because in the end, what you're going to be doing to make this easier, okay, when it comes down to writing the information on the card here, what you're going to be doing is using the AI, right? We want to use this tool. For the rest, the title and your name, well, your name, you know your name, your title, you decide. Okay, but this conversation here, you can rely on the AI once it's ready for speed to give you more options, but you want to make sure that you have here, going fast, that you have your business profile, your brand conversation around you ready as well and anchored. Okay, where's my virtual here? So at that point, I could use this friendly, professional, persuasive. And at that point, what you're going to be doing is concentrating on your offer. Write a bio that highlights this part of my offer or this part of my expertise, right? That highlights my, for example, expertise and quality of service. Okay. I really want you guys to start using the AI to generate content to speed up the process, because technically coming from your business profile, you already have the outline of this conversation and the AI will be here to support you. Make sense? Questions? for now, I'll leave you in the hand of Robert. The website, the flow of our exercise here at this point would have us start consider. Well, at this point here, I think we pretty much should have all covered this part, or we'll be able to. I don't worry, guys. I figured we might need a little bit of extra time, so there's a little bit of loose time in there. So if we finish later, we finish later. But okay, for now, when I come back, I want you guys all to have at least covered this because it's about downloading the asset that takes 2 seconds and then making sure that you have your social links of choice there and using the AI for the conversation.
I
Okay?
got you now that I understand it better.
Perfect. One focus here for you in this space is to make sure that when I'm bringing a LinkedIn link, when I'm bringing a Facebook link, well, from one social media to the other, the conversation is the same. If it's not, then leaving this exercise, you will go back to your Facebooks and make sure to align your conversation. Make sense? Right? Simply put, Vicky, if you're offering travel, right? Then if I go to your Facebook, I want to hear about travel. If I go to your LinkedIn, I want to hear about travel, right? If you're talking about Greenpeace and I go to your website and I see you dealing arms, we got a problem. To your Facebook and I see you dealing arms, we got a problem, right? You basically want to make sure that your voice across all social media platform speaks in the same tune. And this is important for us because remember what happens. If I go on your digital card and I am wowed by your picture, I am invited by your conversation, and I start clicking on your social media and following you, I'm naving. We are naving. So these social media icons are no longer just for show. It's an important part of what we're doing. It's part of our process. This is how powerful the digital card, simply put, is. You see my face, you see what I'm about, and you get to go discover me. And I have a strong call to action. Follow, stay tuned. But if you do so, I get you for a deeper relationship, for a deeper conversation. Because remember, we're setting ourselves up with this digital card for more conversation, whether going over the offer, right? The interest, the intention, the call to action. And remember, when you're going to be using the AI to restructure these messages, right? This is what we're gunning for. We want the interest. We want the intention that leads to a strong call to action, right? Because if I say, hey, I like you because you like the same thing as me, and this is who I am, take a look at my card to see more. This is a really soft pitch. This is a really soft connection message. But look at the echo. I click on your card. Okay, I see you. You're presentable. No fear. Trust. I read your expertise. It lines up with what I came here to offer or what I'm looking for, what I'm interested, what you said we liked. And then I have your social media to go do the detective work, the discovery. So I'm discovering you. And by doing so, you have done a lot. You have connected, built a rapport, because after you have discovered me, the balance of the conversation will change. Because when I come back to you, I see you just friended me on Facebook. I'm very excited to get to know you. You saw what I'm about. Let me know what is bringing you to me. I'm right there into the next part of the conversation, ready to make that pitch. I really like what you said on marketing. All right, I use this tool. Let me show you. Right? So that's the strategy here that we're gunning on with this simple asset. If you have product presentation, the fact that the video is there allows the people to discover this. In the segmentation class, we had a question. George was saying, well, I'm not sure that putting all my links there is a good idea because what happens if they go see it and they decide not to engage? I asked them, what was the real question there? Because if they see my card and they see my link and they click on it interest, intention, call to action. It's a win for me. If they go to my site and have cold feet, or they go to my information and have cold feet, then the conversation that I'm having is, okay, how do I address this fear? How do I start already overcoming these objections? Right? So, and again, this happens all the time. If I click on your link, I'm brought into another choice. Do I go forward or do I stop? It's always the same thing. And this is why we want to make sure that our call to actions are simple enough, it's stronger enough to keep the person clicking on, yes, I want to know more. I want to know more. Right? So if coming in this space, I have some objections, have some fears, and through the conversation, you have already placed answers addressing those fears or stoking that interest. I'm sure that the weight of the decision will fall more in the yes than the no. Good?
Right on. Yep,
So
totally.
let's start back to basics. Download the card, understand the conversation that you're building, that you're presenting by giving your social media link. So, for example, if you're speaking marketing on Facebook and that's the only space where you're speaking marketing, then you will focus on that Facebook link for now only if the conversation aligns with marketing. But very quickly, you will know that you want to make sure that you align all your social media platform with the same conversation. And remember, what we're doing is preparing the stage for what we will be doing after with the MyAI on a regular basis. Right? After today, everybody is in this space. I don't expect to see you do a lead generation post without having your digital card. If I'm talking business, I'm showing my business credential. I'm opening the door to me. And it's a simple, you want to learn more? Get in touch. If you're interested, let's meet. Right? If you don't want to know about me, here's my info.
Roger that.
Especially if you're doing testimonials. Here's my digital card. Come learn more about me. Here's my Zoom link. Come meet me there. Okay? So, boom. I'll leave you with that for now. I'm going to go. Oh, go ahead. Any questions before I bounce back?
No, I'm good. I understand what you're conveying.
Perfect. So, if in doubt, follow our course overview. If there are some questions here, there might be some terms that lead to confusion. When I come back, you said this. What did you mean? How to apply it? We'll get to
No, I
that.
got all of it.
Perfect. So
I
right
got all that.
now,
I didn't know that you wanted them to go from that specific contact card. So I was
well,
just
that is for the beginners, right?
yeah.
For the
That's all
elite,
good.
if you're already there, go ahead. And
We're good.
eventually, we'll turn that digital card into that reverse website.
Right on,
Right?
brother. You want to stop your
Perfect.
sharing
Perfect.
and let me share and let's get
Yes.
so we don't run out of time.
Perfect. Okay, so just to clock us, we're at 113 on our conversation here. We were starting on the optimization of the conversation around that time. That falls into what we've discussed as well, lining up our business conversation. So I'll leave you at that and I'll come back for more in a few seconds. Good?
Awesome. Yep.
Perfect.
Chat soon.
See
Okay.
you soon.
So
Oh,
now that
I'll put you as co-host as well, Robert.
oh yeah, please do. This way I can mute people if they get out of hand. Kidding. Okay, so now that I understand that, and my apologies, obviously I was late. I had a prior engagement and stuff. So what I was doing is essentially what we're supposed to be doing. I'm just showing you, hey, if you had it already, this is one way to do it. If you're going from this one, then this is how you do it. Now that we understand the message a little bit more, super simple. All right. So we're just going to go to Teams. If we haven't done this already, we don't have our contact card. We're going to go here to website and email templates. And instead of using the My Digital card, we're going to go down here to the bottom right. We're going to use Digital Card Course. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to click on Add to My Account. So while he was talking, while Virgil was talking, I went and I did all that. So if I go and I go into my websites, we'll go to that website.
Right, but
Yeah.
you can either
I'm gonna
Right.
keep them. But that's how I
right. That's how
added.
you add it. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yay. And then so do I need to save somewhere or does it
Nope,
automatic?
it automatically saves. It
automatic.
automatically saves.
So my opt-in, yay, I got one cut. I got one, yay.
Nowsite makes it very, very simple to do this. Okay, there's other platforms that's you need to get a university certificate to get all this done, but Nowsite keep it pretty simple.
Okay, thank you. Let me
So
stop
that should
sharing.
that does anybody have any well, first of all, does
Okay.
everybody have their 3 lists created? That's the purpose of this.
Opt-in, conversion, onboarding.
Clay, did
Everybody
you
did
create
that?
your list? Jorge, did you create your list?
I completely understand this. I'm working on that. I'm at this point. I'm working on improving my business card, but I do
Okay,
understand all the concepts. So I'll work on it as I get I get
okay,
to that point.
that's fine, Jorge. How about you, Johnny? Were you able to create the list?
And I eventually got to log in. So yeah, I'm trying now to do the list.
Okay. How about you, Clay? Were you able to create the list?
I am just taking all this in. So I
All right.
haven't done that.
Okay, okay.
And
Just
does anybody know, I built a business card, but when I contact people using my messages through Nowsite, I want to put my business card at the bottom.
you have to save it. You have to save it as a link in your attachments. Okay, so that's a little more different than what we're doing here, but you gotta create a link in your attachments. So when you create a message, you can attach that attachment into your message.
Love what I'm hearing and seeing. I want to chime in on that, if you allow me, Kin. Thank you for the support. Thank you for stepping in. I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I walked into the other room and Blake was leading the conversation, helping out. That is actually a good information that you're giving to Clay about integrating digital card conversation. I'm just going to time in a little bit on that. I'm sharing my screen. When your card are ready, these links
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
are important. And what you can do, for example, and this is going to be part of what we're going to be doing when we're creating our messages, right? Here, for example, I'm going to go into here. Thank you for your business, for example. I'm going to edit here. Now, remember that what we're doing here, okay, is we're using an editor type environment, right? And it allows you to hyperlink things. I recommend doing that a lot. On top of the buttons are the obvious way that you have to put a call to action in these email sequence. Thus, the need to have your marketing assets ready, right? For example, here, best regard, and I already has my name here, but just to put this in perspective, what you can do once you have your text finalized, you can actually hyperlink any of those within that conversation. So you see in the text edit block, I highlight the link, the word or where I want this link to be embedded. I come here and it's going to ask me, where do I want to send the client, right? And this is important, for example, to be able to highlight certain things in the conversation, make it more appealing, but also have deeper ramification. For example, how to masterclass. Well, I have my masterclass offer, right? Here, sorry. So I could grab this, copy, and come back and start basically making this conversation more interactive. When you are looking at an email conversation, when you're receiving a PDF, by now we all understand that when we see things that are underlined like that, that is a clickable link. But you could also give them the conversation. Click on to see more. Click on to book a meeting, right? So this is one of the ways that I want you guys as elite or as people that are going into these tiers of conversation and intent to start taking advantage of. It's one of the strongest way we have to actually make the conversation here have more weight. Otherwise, what we are doing is using these buttons, okay? Technically, you can have more than one button in an email. When it's generated by default, you have a learn more. When you click on it, it has a redirection. And this is how basically I was offering the links through emails for this session. Okay. So good question, Clay. Your marketing asset, your digital card actually becomes part of the list of asset that you will be using. For example, here, note in my digital document here, as part of my asset list, I have my card, right? So these asset lists will grow as well. You start out with a basic. As you start adding, creating more, you want to keep track of them, you put them here. So that way, whenever I need them, I can copy from here and bring it over there. Okay? And this is actually how you are meant to start using, or you are meant in the end to use all the different website assets that you will be creating. Right? So through a conversation, for example, the onboarding sequence that I offered you, just go back here. We'll use this as an example. So if you notice in the onboarding sequence, I'm referring to these links. The first one, it's a soft introduction. Sorry, the second one, I'm going into the MyAI, and I have conversation here within the link, within the conversation, and out.
Show your screen, please.
Oh, no, not showing the right screen. Sorry about that.
No, we see your
see your screen.
We're seeing
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So here. Okay. So as you can see, if you're using this as a template reference, you'll notice that every email has a specific intent that follows the different products that I have. Yes. So you see, Kim, you can have that. Each time there is a leading offer, and I introduce the rest of the conversation that all tie in. By default, when you get the marketing, you have the MyAI. By the time you get to the unleash, you have the MyAI. So I start with that. And every one of these assets, any one of these emails is redirecting to a specific series of calls to actions. Go ahead, Rita. Oh, sorry, you have a question before I go to Rita?
I was just doing a suggestion, especially like in your subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So 90% of email subjects look plain.
Yes.
If you want to be open, maybe add 1 or 2 emojis in there that will stand out from the rest of that email list, and you're going to get a higher chance of getting clicked and open. Secondly, if your email has a video, it'll have a higher chance for them to reach the call to action. In today's day and age, the average attention span is about 30 seconds. If you can send your message in a summary in 30 seconds in the video, they're going to skip through the entire writing and go straight to the call to action. And you're going to have a higher chance of getting clicked. So if you guys look in the analytics of the email, it only is going to tell you if they opened it, if they clicked it, and that's it. So click means they clicked on the call to action. Open means they actually opened the email. They've actually opened it. Okay. And the advantage outside is that the videos, when you embed them, you can only do Vimeo or YouTube. There's a reason. But it will keep you in the email. It will not redirect you out of the email, because if you don't know already, once someone leaves your email, you have pretty much a 99% chance they're not coming back to that email. So that means they just left your email and they just skipped your call to action. So when you keep them in the email, that means they have a higher chance from the video to go all the way straight to the call to actions, which now that becomes a converting email versus just an email.
Absolutely. I double down on everything that was said. For the subject, I actually am biased because I don't like emojis or I don't favor them. But what you said was true, meaning that we need to make sure
It's not about us.
we need
It's
to.
not
Sorry?
about us.
No, I understand. That I understand. Let me just put things in perspective. Okay. So yes, it's not about us. Yes, like I said, I'm biased to emojis, but the conversation is right. Everything starts at the subject line in terms of emails. Right now, one thing here for these campaigns, I did not put a lot of thought in those campaigns because they were used as demos, and I kind of expected you guys to have an eye out by the time these conversations were being rolled out. We were already in a relationship. But yes, the subject is very important. The subject has to be based in interest. Because, for example, as it is, and you are right, Kim, when I open my email account to sort out through my choices, what am I going to open? I'm looking at two things. People who are sending me the emails because I'm expecting some emails, but also the subject lines for those the email names I don't recognize. Do I have interest there? And of course, if you have emojis there in the subject line, it will make that email stand out from the lot. And that definitely increases the chance that somebody's seeing them. But beyond that, the message or the conversation in that uh, uh, subject line after the emoji has to be on point, targeting the interest so that the opener, and this is important because remember, when we're setting out, and this has to do now with optimization, right? Because a lot of us have this fear. My email is going to go into junk mail. My email is not going to be open. Well, how do you overcome those hurdles? Is by the subject line. If the interest of the client who has set his preference to allow this or that through is properly aligned, you have a greater chance of that email ending up in the inbox other than the spam. Once it's in the inbox, definitely the advice given by Kim is a strong one. Anything you can do to make that title stand out beyond anything else that is in my email works. And true, my bias was not necessarily well placed because it's about the clients. True. Well, we'll talk about my bias after. The video, one thing I want to address as well. The video is definitely a powerful tool. For those who have the opportunity of creating their videos, your first connection email actually should have you in the video introducing the conversation. Because at that point, it reinforces the connection that you're trying to build. And if you have properly tailored the video content, it should make a strong presentation and a strong call to action. One thing that I want to add a little bit is that it is hard to control the steps of the clients, whether they click or they come back. That is true. But one of the things that we are doing in this space is redirecting. So part of us understand that we are going to make this person leave that email environment at one point or another. It's what it's meant for. We have to make sure that everything we do continues the conversation, meaning that even if I was redirected from your email out to YouTube or Vimeo, well, when you're posting that video on YouTube or Vimeo, you're not just posting it there. There is a bio, there's descriptions. The rest of the conversation should echo through. So if I left your email, went to YouTube, saw this conversation, really liked it, two things are going to happen. I'm either going to start at looking at the whole channel to see what else I can get, or I can look at the description and see what comes in, especially if that video is telling me, well, before you leave, don't forget to click the link in the bio. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to subscribe. Call to action. Every piece of conversation. The call to action is the one thing that increases the possibility as for your email to be clicked on. That's very important. Okay. And one other thing, it is true that the email campaign tool, as it is, and that was a very good point that you made, the email campaign is letting you know how many were sent, how many were open, how many clicked, but it doesn't let you know who clicked it. right? However, each one of these emails have a specific call to action. So when these emails are fired out, what I'm waiting for is on the other side of this gate. If I'm asking you to book a meeting, then the idea here is that I didn't get this meeting. This person didn't go that far. Why? Do I need to fine tune the conversation on that asset? Do I need to change it to make it more stronger? Did I go too hard on the paint? Right? These are the questions that you're now asking yourself. Big smile, but it's true, right? It was too much of a sell, right? Maybe it was too early for that. This is why, for example, an ideal, and I again double down on that, when we're making the connection, one of the ideal link that we want to have, the first call to action, whether it's cold or semi-warm, well, we want to have these business cards because there I can go and warm up to you. And I fall back in that same conversation, right? You're presenting, I'm not going to see a chameleon. I'm seeing that Kim is consistent platform after platform that is echoing this conversation. And again, I have the opportunity to use another video. Even your videos are assets, right? They are the first actually asset that matter in this day and age. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is a series of talking picture with voice and music and all that jazz. So using videos, if you're able to create it, is a must. Okay? Questions?
On the emojis, okay, you guys are probably now overthinking and say, what emoji do I use? Just go to your MyAI chat, guys. Just tell them, here's my sentence. What is the best emoji should I use? And guess what? They'll do all the work. You won't even have time to make coffee. So, I mean, it's so simple, guys.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I know I saw some of the eyes. It's like, well, damn, what emojis? I could see the body language.
remember that in this space, what we're doing, we're laying down foundation, but you're going to use the AI, right? Rewrite this conversation, add emojis, give me another 3 version, and then you assess. This is where the show and tell will come into play because I'm going to ask you, you wrote this, what was the intention? What was the call to action? How does that line up with the next sequence? Because when we start seeing sequence in these email campaign, it means that we have clearly mapped out our prospect journey and we know which gate to monitor. Once we have that, we can go over increasing the effectiveness of the conversion by fine-tuning the reactions based on the conversation. Go ahead, Doria.
Yes, I really appreciate this because after all these how-tos, I've been listening to information, but I realized I never really implemented it till today. So thank you for that. Um, so when I'm setting up my email campaign, I realized that when it says select an email account, it won't let me add my email I want it sent to. Where do I go to add the email so that it could be part of the drop down? So I can select it for my email
You need to
campaign.
check your connections. Check your
That's
connection.
for Virgil, huh?
Check your connection.
You want to go, and well, this is good for everybody because you want to make sure that you go to the last tab, connection, and that you follow the steps here. You click on connection, and you basically will put in the email
Okay,
that you
hold
have
on.
chosen.
Okay,
Go ahead.
slow down. You said you go to the last
Yep.
thing. You go where?
You can go to the connection tab here, the last icon on
Oh,
the,
I go to account info. It's not connect, it's account
sorry,
info.
account info, the last icon. And when it opens up, the second option is connection. Okay. Well, sorry.
So connect new email.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you just follow the prompts.
Okay, thank you.
Here, for example, wait 1 second. I'll answer your question next, Clay. If you want to review this, I have the step-by-step in the course content as well, in the practical email, how to connect it. So you can download it for review if you want. Let me just, where it was here.
And when you're done, Virgil, can you go to the email section?
Here. So it's here. You will be able to look at it. I'll just demonstrate what you are about to do. I'm going to disconnect this here, for example. Okay, so I have disconnected my email. When you're connecting, you click on connect. It's going to ask you, what are we doing? For now, I'm just going to select email only. You're going to put basically that email into play. If you have opened your browser, meaning the browser on which you open Nowsite on the same email, because I'm connected already, you can see it up here. Once I do this and I click on connect, automatically in all case scenario, it's going to bring me to the sign in for that specific provider. So you see here, it's telling me, it brought me to Google, and it's asked me to select the account that I want to connect. I select it. It's going to ask me the permission to continue. I'm going to continue. Now, this is often a spot that is missed. You see here, you have to allow us to send email on your behalf, right? And whatever other check marks that are left unclicked, you select it, and then you continue. From that point, it's going to bring you back into Nowsite, which showing you that is properly connected. It's taking a little bit of time. Clay, you had a question while we're doing this?
Yeah. How do you shoot your video?
Well, in this environment, for example, when you're on Zoom, you can record yourself as we're recording this. If you have a good enough phone, you can set the phone on your table, have a phone holder, and basically do the video. Once it's recorded, you're then going to go to the platform of your choice, Vimeo or YouTube, and upload it there.
Okay, how do you upload it in an email?
In an email, you have to have the video itself ready, so already available on a platform. So I'll go to this one here. You have to have it already available on a platform. So here, for example, I have a picture. Just going to garbage it. Okay. And then you see here, video, click, drag, drop, and you will paste the link of that video there.
I got it.
Good.
And Clay, it's only Vimeo or YouTube for right now. You can't embed a video. You can only do Vimeo or YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, Kim.
Yes. Embedding is impossible within these email environment. Simply put, you're adding code, and that is seen as a Trojan for all email providers. So that's going to be a no-go every time. If you're able to, then it means that you're in a different game altogether. Perfect. You wanted me to take a look at something, Kim, before I moved on in this section?
Go to the email section. Go to the email section.
The connection email or where I am here?
No, go to the email, like email campaign sections. All right. This is probably very important that you guys, this is very important that you guys audit this all the time. Okay. I'm going to ask you one question. How many times have you had somebody call you and say, man, I'm getting all these emails from you? A lot of people, because what happens is you tend to connect a campaign to a site or a form, and then you forgot that it's attached to that email or to that list, right? So when you add someone to a list, it's going to automatically shoot that email. But if you forgot to detach that email campaign when you add that person, you might have the same person on 2-3 lists. So they're going to get 2-3 emails from you at the very same time you put them in that list. So it's very important that you check that. I'm telling you that from experience. Okay?
Yes. I want to actually double down on that. Checking here
show them
like,
on the right-hand side what it's attached. Because a lot of people don't know that it's attached. It tells you right there what is attached.
But this is the automation. Okay.
Right.
There's one thing I want to touch base, reinforce what you just said, because what you just explained is a misstep of CRM, meaning that we are not properly managing the client relationship and we're leaving them in list where they don't belong. And this is where basically where the exercise of today is particularly important. For example, as we discuss, we in this group all started. I'm going to use myself here as an example where I am. Just go back here and do this here. Technically, there's one thing that we are maintaining. If a client goes into one of our platform, we will receive a notification, and we know, for example, that he was in the acquisition list, right? And he has now moved. For example, this persona as me is in the general asset. As I send you content, as I send you asset, you may end up appearing in several lists. And this is what Kim is referring to. If these lists are actively working, because keep this in mind, once you have established your acquisition list, once you have established your conversion list, once you have established your retention list, you won't be changing those lists. You will be moving people through these lists. And by the time I get to the retention list, I shouldn't be in the acquisition list. So you have the obligation here of maintaining those. For example, for now, all of you, as it is, have a format that resembles this in my CRM, meaning that I have you as part of my how-to workshop list. So any generic information that I use there, which is meant for general retention, general information, you get by default, right? When I'm ready for when I was ready for your segmentation conversation, for those who were in the segmentation list, I could go there and manually send you a list, right? As it is here. That is the proper settings here. So each one of you are in my CRM like this. You are in my virtual course library since you opted in for the masterclass. We started together this journey. So most of you all in the how-to workshop list. And at this moment, if you are in the segmentation room with me, you are also in the segmentation list. Meaning that if I'm going to send reinforcement information after this conversation on that particular subject, I know that you who are in this list are the ones that are going to be receiving it. Okay. One of the things that Kim mentioned, which is an important fact to understand, is that yes, when you're connecting lists, by default, they will appear here. But these are the lists that are part of the automation. For example, my things are moving here. Okay, just step out of here and come back. You'll notice that in my registration email, I have connected no lists. Where did it go? Why is it moving? Oh, list here. Here. So you'll notice that my retention email campaign is not connected to any list because at this point, I'm manually basically acting on these dates. Everything is set to immediate because I'm not connecting this here, right? When it's required, I send you this email. When it's required, I fire this email. At this point, you all have received these two emails, regardless if you were in those. And this is important for us in segmentation here. This is why we're creating these lists, because the lists actually are tied to an intent, a campaign, email, or a process, right? So it's important, coming back to what Kim has done, when a client comes through, and this is why we're maintaining these assets. If I send you a link and you click on it and it goes into an opt-in form and you do opt-in, I will get the notification here. I will see in which list you have ended up. And from this point, I can start moving you. So you see here, Tom just came through to the Verge library. Now, what I would do, and this is important as well for people who are doing form, he's in the segmentation. So it means that maintaining his account or this relationship would have me first put him in the workshop library so that I know that going forward, all the general information or the retention information that I will want to send, he will be part of it. And in this case, he adhered to the segmentation. So I'm going to put him in my segmentation list. And email campaign, I will scoop down segmentation class, send it to him. Right? This part we can't escape because this is when we're actively asking the client to do things. So we're actively reacting to those. Once that is there, I can leave you in that class until you level up and I'll bring you to the another one. When we're done here, I'll say, well, if you have mastered all the leveling, then we're going to the next conversation, direct sales for these assets. Go ahead, Kim.
So here's a hack for you guys. When you set up an email, your subject, your mindset should be a hook. If you put a hook in your subjects, you have a higher chance on top of the emojis that they will open it. And the reason is when I changed that strategy, most of my emails all average 50% or higher open. And then when you go into the video inside to the call to action, most of my emails average another 50% of people who open actually get to click. And that helps you create faster conversions, higher conversions, right? But I got a question for you, Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
You don't connect automatically your email or automation. You prefer to send them the email individually?
It depends on where I am in the process. Acquisition is usually connected to an automated process because I'm not sure when it's going to happen. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. But as we move forward, then I start controlling. One of the lists that I will not necessarily connect to an automation, depending on the purpose, is the conversion, right? Because I'm monitoring those actions. Once I've converted you, I'll go to the retention. But it depends.
What's your definition of conversion? Someone who actually bought?
Yes.
So wouldn't you automate a thank you letter at least?
Yeah, that's okay. Acquisition. Remember, if you buy, the automation is support. I get the notification that you have opted in. I'm going to go directly to you. I'm going to have a specific series of controlled conversation with you until I feel that you're now ready to go for the automation, right? I choose that. Of course, the thank you for me is important. So much so that it's a reaction to any submission. Remember, when you are submitting a form, I have the tendency, and I recommend always bring you to that landing page where I thank you for your business, where I outline the fact that you're going to be receiving conversation from me. So not to miss it, make sure to check your emails. As we discussed last time, there's even a deeper need to let you know how to search for that email in your inbox so that it doesn't get lost. Setting up basically the relationship for more to come. Once we have exchanged, for example, at this stage, if you're interested in the MyAI, I will send you a series of MyAI lists of exercise and things to do. At the end of that level, we move you towards another level, another conversation, marketing if so. Yes. So yes, it applies. Okay. But at this stage, depending on the volume of conversion that you're going through or the volume of acquisition that you're going through, I recommend having an active hands-on approach. Because, for example, to get to these amounts where we can strongly say with assurance that you do this, it's going to increase your rate by 50%, is because we have gone through this process ourselves. We have tried this and we have compared. One of the things also that I expect you guys, or that we will be doing as we carry on, is that you're building messages. We want different variation of these messages, and we're going to test the two strongest ones. For example, in the Connect 10 exercise I recommended, that when you're connecting, you're going to be using the AI to create a message. You're going to be using the strongest of your message and an alternative. And we tested to see. Because at one point, we'll see what is happening with this type of conversation and prompt versus the other. And that allows us to come in the middle and say, well, a little bit of here, a little bit of that makes this asset, this conversation perfect. We're testing. Even if somebody gives you an email campaign and say, hey, I've done this using this email campaign step by step, word for word, and it works, good. But that email wasn't just a standalone email. It was part of a sequence of strategies and steps that they took to make this campaign that effective. And this is what we're doing here. Understanding our segmentation, understanding the value of our conversation, understanding the pace at which we need to move to actually move the process to prospect through our different list or our different conversation. Make sense? Enough talking. You guys are not going to do the work, or at least I'll leave you in the hand of Kim. Practice. At this point, I expect you have done at least 2 of 3 of these things. So you have your business profile with your marketing asset ready. You have separated your lists. You have your asset list ready. And we're now going into the creation of the first series of emails, at least the conversion email sequence. By the time we leave here, we may not have all these email sequence created, but we will have at least the first one and the 5 lining up all these call to action and aiming at a specific audience, which is already established from our business profile. Go ahead, Clay.
I think the assignment from this workshop, from this masterclass, is to finish up your email series and volunteer on Tuesday or Wednesday to see how you came out. I think that would be your call to action assignment to
Absolutely.
do that. And you got the whole weekend to do it.
Absolutely. But even bigger, right? We're using the AI. You came in with your asset list. Somebody's getting volunteered at the end to explain us. And we're going to go email by email, sequence by sequence. I received this, I'll read it. I'll let you know how I react. And strong of that, I will want to know what you would do next in your sequence. Email after email. Okay, somebody's getting volunteered. So everybody's working like they're going to be put on the pedestal to discuss and defend their ideas. Good? Clay? And then I'll leave you with Kim.
Very quickly, you recorded this. Where do I find it?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Recording. You notice the last 2 sessions I didn't publish. I have to go over that editing as you suggested, Kim. I hadn't got the chance to look at it. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to embed them through Canva and put them directly on the how-to newsletter. Okay. So when you will need for it, you'll be able to go back to the how-to sessions, which one is here. I opened a lot of tab here, and you'll be able to see them here in the latest session. So here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to change those basically because they were blocked there. I'm going to embed them while I work on re-editing them so I can publish them through a video, which actually is not so much important because this is meant for you guys. And as long as you can find it, if it's embedded on Canva and embedded into the website, it works. Okay. So you'll be able to come back and see the how-to session here. I might actually I'll put, since it belongs into the library, the course library, I'll put it here in the masterclass. So you'll be able to come back here where you originally signed up to see basically the outcome of this masterclass, the recording. Good?
How much time do you need to post it? Will it be Monday? Or
yeah, by Monday.
Yeah.
By Monday latest. Since it's just embedding, it will be embedded fairly quickly. By Monday, you'll have it, even if not even, I don't know, by Monday. And this weekend has gotten crazy for me here, so I'm not sure. I can't make a promise that I will get it done during the weekend there. But Monday morning, the latest, you should be able to have access to our recording. Good?
Hey, Doria, it's that single life, man. Virgil is single, the weekend.
I'll put my business out like that. I'm going for business, serious business. I work on the weekend. No, actually, it's true. I have a wedding to attend to, but I also have a series of conferences that are happening, and the work group can only meet on weekends. Entrepreneurs, we have no life. We have all the freedom, no life.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you, Virgil.
Pleasure.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
On the email, Okay, on the email, is the reason of why we can't embed an email is because of the redirection situation is only can be controlled through Vimeo and YouTube, or is that the reason why we can't embed an email?
You mean embed things in the email?
Right, you know, like a code snippet or something like that. Is there a
It's
reason?
Trojan. Because, for example, if I give you the opportunity to embed things in that email, I'm giving you the opportunity to modify the code. And that can lead to other things. It's Trojan, right? Because if I send you an email that has a code within it, they will say, no, there's something fishy with this, right? That's one of the things. In general, the reason why we also force or we are forced to have you publish these videos on platforms like YouTube or Vimeo has also to do with copyright. We don't have a copyright protection engine, but by going through these channels, it forces your information to be proven copyright free, or the copyright is assigned to the proper person and you can freely use it. It protects you before anything. Okay, so these are the two major reasons that are on the table as far as I'm concerned for the embed through email and the obligation to publish on Vimeo or YouTube. But it's in our favor. You said it yourself. Google, #1 landing platform in the world. It offers you a free entry. It offers you actually ways even to turn a profit if you're active. Why not? Right? Same
But
thing with Vimeo.
only if your YouTube channel is set up properly. Otherwise,
Well,
it's gonna send it to your competitor.
we'll get to that later. For now, well, it's better to have than have not, right? Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna run on the other side.
Thank you. I know you got to go to the other room. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we're already at 2. Oh my God, it's 2. Bye.
Yes.
We'll give ourselves a few minutes to wrap up there. So if you still have time, or you can join me in the main room before you leave. We'll trying to get a pool of what happened. It flew by. I didn't think we're going to need 4 hours. We didn't even get it. Did you guys? Okay. We'll meet in the main room for now and we'll
We learned a
reconvene to
lot.
that. You learned a lot, but
All
did you
right.
practice it? Did you get a chance to apply? That's
All
was
right,
the
let's
main
go
goal.
to the main room, y'all.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you. Awesome. You're very welcome. Tina, how about you, dear?
I'm good.
Awesome.
That's
That's what I like to hear.
You had a great class. I mean, there's some things I need to fix and such, but like with others, we can come back and
Sure. That's okay. I mean, the main thing I want is, again, I want us to be able to accomplish this within the time frame. I don't need you guys sticking around longer than you need to, because you can always go back and change those little things, right? We can always do that.
Absolutely.
So good to know that you're okay. Daniel, how about you, brother? Where you at? We'll wait for Daniel to respond. Dinah, how you doing, dear? It helps to say the past. Sorry.
Okay, I'm working.
You good though?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, no questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Jackie, how about you?
Yeah, my question is, can I get this recorded?
I don't know if
Yes,
I don't know
I
if
was
he's
trying
recording
to.
it or not. I came in late, right? So.
Yeah, I'm trying to record them all. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, hey, Virgil, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I sorry for interrupting. Yeah, I'm
Nah,
trying
that's
to record them all. I actually have 2 computers running at the same time to try to
Hey,
capture both of what is happening. You should see those recordings available the latest on Monday, and I'm going to be putting it on the Virtual Course Library, where you actually went to register in the master class section.
Cool.
Okay.
Did
It's great.
you bring both rooms together? Hi, Rita. I didn't see some of you guys.
Yes. It's because
Okay.
we're actually
Yes, I'm here.
So real quick, brother, before you take over, I just want to make sure everybody else was okay. Those of you that were in my group, everybody up to speed? Yes.
Job,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
Yes,
Awesome. Well,
thank you
the
so
floor is
much.
yours, Virgil. I'll pass it back to you, brother.
Well, I was just about
But
to, well,
wait, Robert, I don't know what we was doing without you in here. We was like,
Who said that?
Dinah.
I know.
Oh, Dinah. Oh, I'm glad I came when I did.
Yeah.
Wow, you can put a video in your thing?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yes.
absolutely.
I don't have that. Okay.
We will definitely get it done. Uh, Thank you. Yeah, Robert, earlier on you asked me, Virgil, wouldn't it be simpler to have created one masterclass? And I said I wanted to try it. After that, I thought about it and I was like, I probably did it because I had Robert backing me up all these sessions and I knew you were coming. So I knew that you were going to take over one of these rooms.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support. Thank you also,
Not a
Kim.
problem, brother. Happy to help.
Kim was also present in the second room. The time actually flew by so quick that we're already two. So we're at the end of this time. Technically, we do have a little bit of room there, 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes there to wrap things up. You guys were supposed to be voluntold. You haven't. You're getting away easy, but not. I will see and call one of you out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. This was not a and all process, right? I want you guys to take away what you have done today and keep working on it, right? Not sure if I'm going to be able to do this on the next Friday, but pretty soon we'll organize a follow-up masterclass on one of these subjects. I'll try to do it one at a time.
Maybe
Maybe.
Virgil, we do it once a month or something, maybe.
Yeah, once a month is definitely a possibility. That is definitely a possibility. Maybe twice. I was thinking twice a month, so every 2 weeks. That could help to maintain a momentum because between those practical exercises, between the how-to sessions and the available options that you have to come in to meet, I think you would have a all-around support to keep uh, uh, building up momentum for those who are beginner and in transit. And for those who are elite, like you have today, the support is great. The optimization also is something that always comes into play. We never stop learning as leaders. I think this is something that we all agree. There's always something new there. So that's
Totally.
great.
I'm glad. Totally. And I'm glad that you did this, Virgil, because it gives us the time. You set apart the time for us to actually get it done. Like I mentioned to everybody at the very beginning of this, I've already got a contact card. So it's not like I needed to come to the space to do this. But what I love about Virgil is that he's got his own skill sets and stuff, and I've got mine. But I learn stuff from him and everybody that I can. So restructuring the business card the way that we're doing now, I did not have mine that way. So it's great that I was able to come in here, help everybody out, get it done myself. And boom, now I've got another resource that I can use. So appreciate you, Virgil.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you're seeing value, that's all my reward. Pass it on, use it, abuse it, come back for more. Because the higher we rise together in level, the more proficient we become at it as well, right? And whoever has more for the time leads the momentum until somebody has something more to offer, and we revolve and cycle like that. That's how we become a strong community.
I think Kim had a question, I think.
Yeah, Kim, go ahead.
Just a suggestion. I know in the other room, we suggested everyone that if you didn't get a chance to implement by Tuesday or Wednesday, or some of you guys even know some of each other here on the call. My suggestion is partner up with them, accountable, and get it done. I mean,
there you go.
You can get all the information, soak it all in the last 2 hours. You're not implementing, you're just wasting your time.
Yep.
Because you're going to forget everything that you intake today. But if you implement it, it's going to stick in your head.
Well,
if
that's
you teach
why.
it,
That's why,
yeah.
Kim, in the group that we had, we actually went through and we implemented all together, my friend.
It's all good. It's all good.
Love
all
it.
good.
Love it. And remember, you guys who are all here, I have your names. Next session, somebody is getting voluntold to show and proof, and so that we can experience, right? Whatever level you are at, when you get to showcase, we all get to learn from what you have done good, from the opportunity that are left there. It allows us to also discover things that we might not have. So yes, you were expected to get things done. Doesn't have to be finished. The thing is that you will continue perfecting this, and I will volunteer somebody on Monday, on Tuesday or Wednesday to show, right? And I will do top, bottom. So meaning you two elites there, we will talk. Kim, Robert, you will lead these conversation, and then we'll look at the base starters, and you will share your difficulties or what you have, so we can all pitch in. And yes, click up. I used to tell friends when I came into this, it was really through a journey of trying to create products to sell as an artist. And one of the things I used to say to my friend artists is that the life that you choose to live in creation, in business, is a sad life when you're just by yourself. The more you start clicking up with people, the more you see things, the more you learn things. You can call your friend and say, "Hey, I just did this. It's going to change our game. Come and take a look at it. I just discovered this tool. Maybe we can apply." More brains around a goal is better than just one. Unless you have a bunch of minions that you can copy and clone yourself, which we don't have. And minions are not necessarily great things because they don't bring their heart into this. They do what they're told. And if you have a team of people that go out there, pick out pieces of the puzzle, come back, and also they bring their strength in. For example, Robert said it. He has skills. I have some skills. Well, when we're in this space, we all learn from it. Same thing with Kim, right? Same thing with anybody in this space who has made a share.
Virgil, question for you. Did you go to college for marketing, or how did you learn the vast majority of your marketing?
That's the puzzle that you will get to learn as we go. You already have one puzzle of me. I'm not just going to disclose all my tricks like that.
I only asked because I know you're educated because of the verbiage. I know that. I just don't know if that came from practical experience or if it came from school.
It's practical. To be honest, this is how it started. Or I guess we'll end up on that. I never wanted, well, I think everybody here has that entrepreneurial spirit that makes them look at employment with a second guess. Yeah. Like, right. So when I finished school, I wanted to do business. Actually, while I was trying to finish school, I wanted to do business. So I started my own clothing business. And very quickly, I understood that the difference between me and my competitor, because we had access to the same suppliers. So the only difference is how well you market yourself. And this was pre-Facebook. Meaning what? Everything that we had to do on paper. We had to have a strategy to be out there. Right? And all that is cost. So at one point, I was in Ottawa at that point. I decided to close business there, come to Montreal to learn the business of fashion. But I went into fashion making instead of fashion marketing. Right. And at that point, while I was in school, I'm not that good at sewing, but I was very good at drawing and doing these things. So I started looking at marketing, and I couldn't leave basically one program to join the other. So I started opening up these books. I started looking at these softwares. I started trying to understand. And one of the things, to be honest, is the reason why I connect a lot with you is that while I was trying to build my fashion business, well, this is when multi-level marketing was actually starting to emerge. So I was brought to this conference and I saw the delivery. And I understood that behind each one of these, there's a marketing system, there's a coaching approach, there's a peer-to-peer relationship. And for me, that was the same as building relationship with clients. So it forces me to open these books constantly.
I love it.
Right? And the more you do that, you'll see the more you pick up on aptitudes. Okay, now I can look at a software and, okay, I know the mechanics behind that. Right. How do I apply my ideas?
Like you could look at it, this is simple enough. Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Virgil.
Cool, I'm glad I asked.
Hey, Virgil.
Yep.
Hey, for what it's worth for the new people here, guys, 2.5 years ago, guys, I didn't know what an HTML was. And I know some of you guys know the story. All this learning curve happened because of Nowsite, okay? And because I used to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for people to do it for me. But I didn't mind paying. But when you pay and you're still on the wait list, there's a problem. When I
Big
pay,
fellow.
I expect to get it done yesterday. Okay. So I figure, go back to what my mom always tell me. If you want something to get done right, you got to do it yourself. Right.
Yeah.
And that's when Nowsite came in. And because of the simplicity, most of us, we overthink it. Okay.
Mhm.
But I'm going to tell you this, and hopefully this will resonate for you this weekend. There is no competitor to Nowsite. There's not a single competitor of what we offer here for three reasons. Number one, simplicity. Okay. If you got somebody who wants all the bells and whistles on the website, this is not the platform for them. Okay. That's not what we're here to. We want a person like the average Joe, the average Jane, I won't discriminate, right? To come in and be able to do it on their own and make it presentable, right? The key word is presentable. Secondly, the credibility of Nowsite. There is no other platform that has the credibility because of Eric Worre. You name me one person that is more experienced, more credible than Eric Worre in this space. You name me one. Most of them are dead.
Mhm.
Me. Ah.
Right?
That's so much
Gotcha.
truth. So much truth. Go ahead.
And thirdly is duplication. This platform is designed for you to duplicate. And you only have to learn 6 skills. Point, click, copy, paste, drag and drop. If you can't do those 6 skills, this is not the platform for you.
Well,
So
there's a
hopefully
photo.
that leaves, that leaves for you. But that is what I teach and practice is those 3 key points. Many people come to me and Robert and say, well, I got this platform that do this and do that and the other. Our first determination is this for you or not? If it's not for you, adios, amigos.
Now,
Hey, Kim, there is a fourth point, and it's the value that Nowsite offers. I've never seen a company with so much training and so much help.
mhm.
I concur.
You see, this is one of the outcomes of these conversation. Everybody's gonna come out of here understanding the conversation that they must have around Nowsite. And you are so much on the money, Kim. When I started learning all these website processes, I I was with one of the competitors there. I won't give them bad names or whatnot, but even for me, who I wasn't an exact beginner, I was finding the process very hard. When I started with Nowsite, I fell in love with the tool overnight because overnight I was able to do what it took me hours to do
Yeah.
with a website. But what really blew my mind was after, because it's not just the website, it's the email campaign, the CRM. And that was just then, before they introduced the AI. And knowing my writing skills, you can tell how much that one was a benefit for me. But then they went beyond that, integrating all these nav processes. And truth in what George said, one of the greatest value that we offer is these type of environment, this access to training, this strong community. Because often enough in the other tools, you get to talk to customer support through chat, and that's it. And you better pray you have a great leader, a great coach to follow you. Technically, the person who introduced you to this opportunity should be there with you, and you better hope that they are versed. Otherwise, it becomes complicated. Here with Nowsite, overnight, and I mean this literally, overnight, you can play around and discover where you need to go to push buttons. The value that you get now in spaces like that is that, well, you get to share the share of experience. What do I do when I'm pushing these buttons? The hardest thing is never, and I can say hands down, even with the people that tell, well, I'm not tech savvy, I don't know anything about this. Most of you all know how to move the tool. The idea is that when you start moving, you do not understand the direction in which you're going. And this is what we're doing through these tutorials, making you understand these years of experience that we picked up on the floor in the street, we can share that with you online. Remember,
That's the facts.
to get I used to organize parties. To get at least 100 people in that room, I had to mark it out, whether it's raining or sunny, whether it's night and day. I had to be out there passing flyers, trying to engage people to come.
Talking my
Now,
language.
now I'm still doing the same thing, but from the comfort of my house.
Yeah.
I can go online and pass the word around. Facebook was the event, a game changer. And then after that, social media established a new set of rules for marketers, for business people, for anybody that uses communication as a tool to achieve things. Because you can be here and talk to somebody across the world. If you are clearly interested, if your intentions are clear and your call to action are simple, they will heed the call. Okay, if you're following the sales flow, you will be the best conversational salesman ever.
You got
These
the
are the
best sales
basics.
flow. You got the best sales flow with Nav, man. What more you ask for?
Done. Last time we had that conversation, I showcased a solicitation call that I got, and we all came to terms with the same thing. That person needed Nav. He needed our sales flow. At least that basic understanding that we drill in: connection, building a rapport, presenting, right? Booking, following up, booking that meeting for close. That sequence, you see, I remember it because it's what I have to do. I have to connect with you. Through that, I'm building a rapport. Then I'm going to make a presentation. Then I'm going to have you follow up on that conversation. Then I'm going to say, hey, you know what? We should meet. This is when I'm coming for the closed sell. This is the sequence, right? If I'm not doing it, I know that I'm doing something wrong. After that, how I shape this color, right? One of the things about the chameleon is that it doesn't change its skeleton, right? The format of the skeleton remains the same. We're having that conversation. Kim mentioned we shouldn't be chameleons when people
Oh
are
my
looking
God.
for us on social media. Same colors all the time. That is true
Virgil.
because. Oh yeah, we're done.
No, that's my spirit animal.
Oh, the chameleon. Oh, I can see. I
chameleon.
can see. Oh, I
That's a
love it.
silver coin with a chameleon on it.
In it. We chameleons are a good example for what we are as a whole. Jack of all trades in our conversation, in our ability to blend and switch and
Blend.
adapt, right? But when we're marketing, we have to understand we want to be in a mold that people can relate to and trust, right? When that is done, we can change gradually. Okay, you came into this gate, it doesn't fit you. Guess what? I have other options. I have other opportunities. Okay, so
Awesome stuff.
take that, embody it, remember the basics because that is what all foundations are built upon. And through that, you build your own style, but it will never be far away from the core of the lessons, the core of what makes this simple and makes you great just by applying it.
Yeah, and
Good.
based off of that too, right? It would be called the basics, and somebody like me would go and say, "Well, maybe we have to go back to the basics." Right?
We always
Good
have to
stuff,
go
Virgil.
back.
Appreciate it, man.
Pleasure again. So by Monday, you'll be able to go to the masterclass and see the outcomes of the video. By Tuesday, we will meet again and somebody will get picked in each class to demonstrate. On Wednesday, we will close with that. And then strong of that, we'll decide when the next class will be. I think it's a good aim to keep it every 2 weeks. So twice a month. I have to clear it with the admins as well. And I think the format of 2 room is something that we can get. I got support. We are a community. So at turns, we can come in, share, or practice. What do you
Just for
say?
me on Friday, so you know I'm always going to be that 30 minutes late. But if you were in my class, get your stuff done.
what I'll do, I didn't, like I said, I didn't keep track of the time, the date change, but most of the ones that I saw were about maybe moving the time further. So we might accommodate that, start at 1 instead of starting at 12. Well, everybody go for that?
That would work if it works for everybody else.
Yeah.
Works
that's
for
fine.
me.
Either that or I'll be late. Jackie's saying no.
Okay. Well, I'll put it to a poll. We'll try to see if we'll keep Friday as the day. That generally will be so. And then we'll try to see what best starting time could be 12:31 or maintain 12. So definitely when you get this next, I'll send you a thank you email for participating. I'll request your feedback, and we'll also ask for another offer of time of choice. Good.
Sounds great, brother.
In the meantime, you guys have my email, virgil@now.site. You can send me an email based on what you have done, question that you're left with. I'll try to answer as fast as I can. The shortest way to those answers is booking a meeting as well. But if you book a meeting before Tuesday, you're getting voluntold for real. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because we talked. We did the exercise, we talked. So you're getting voluntold. I'm just saying. Okay. I have to run for my next meeting there,
Have a
but
great day and weekend,
have a
everyone.
great weekend, guys. And thank you for the experience. It's a shared experience for all of us.
Thank you, Virgil.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye. Y'all have a great weekend.
Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.